We use 50 billion tons of sand every year. It builds our cities and protects our coasts. But what happens when the world runs out?
When we look at the Sahara or endless stretches of coastline, sand appears to be an infinite, inexhaustible resource. But in May 2026, the United Nations Environment Program issued a global warning. Humanity is facing a severe structural shortage of this exact material. This chart tracks global resource extraction. Look at the yellow section showing non-metallic minerals, which is almost entirely sand and gravel. Since 1970, that bar has exploded upward, reaching a staggering 50 billion tons extracted every single year. We can't use the sand from the desert to feed this demand. Desert grains are eroded by the wind, making them too smooth and round to bind together in construction. To build, we require rough, angular sand shaped by water. Because modern civilization relies entirely on this highly specific geological shape, we are currently strip mining a finite resource at an industrial scale. The UN report classifies this extracted material under a specific term, dead sand. Look through this raw concrete frame. The sprawling highway below, the glass and the skyline, the asphalt, and even the silicon microchips powering the city are all manufactured from processed sand. Once we pour a foundation or pave a road, those individual grains are locked in place. They are permanently removed from the Earth's natural cycles. And our appetite for these static structures is accelerating. By the year 2060, global demand for building sand is projected to surge by another 45%. Modern infrastructure requires billions of tons of material to function, but every new city block and paved road also serves as a permanent graveyard for the planet's foundational rock. Out in the natural world, the UN defines a completely different category, alive sand. As this aerial view of a river delta shows, alive sand exists as a fluid, moving network of sediment. In this active state, sand operates as a massive mechanical filter. As water percolates through the porous layers, heavy metals, pollutants, and excess nutrients are trapped, physically purifying our freshwater systems. This active sediment also sustains highly specialized ecosystems, providing crucial habitats for a wide range of unique wildlife. The critically endangered gharial crocodile, for example, relies entirely on naturally forming river sandbanks to regulate its temperature, lay eggs, and raise its young. Leaving sand in our rivers and coasts is an active biological necessity. Without it, water quality degrades rapidly, and the species adapted to those specific environments collapse. Along the coasts, alive sand performs a heavy-duty mechanical function known as a hydrostatic buffer, serving as a frontline defense against climate change. This cross-section shows how a thick barrier of beach sand separates the ocean from our inland freshwater aquifers. Because sand is incredibly dense, its physical mass literally blocks toxic saltwater from pushing underground and contaminating the groundwater we use for drinking and agriculture. Above ground, the slope of the beach absorbs the kinetic energy of severe storm surges. As heavy waves crash against the shore, the shifting sand dissipates the impact before it can flood coastal cities. Nature spends millennia eroding mountain rock and depositing it along the coasts to slowly build these natural defenses. We are dredging them up in a matter of hours. By extracting this material solely to mix cheap concrete, we are systematically dismantling the primary, free natural defense system capable of holding back rising sea levels. This disparity creates what researchers call the sand gap. We extract 50 billion tons a year, mathematically outpacing the hundreds of thousands of years nature needs to erode rock into new sand. This gap leads to a tragic irony in our climate adaptation strategies. To protect coastal properties from rising seas, we dredge up alive sand from the ocean to manufacture the dead sand concrete used in these massive seawalls. Removing that underwater sediment alters wave dynamics and starves the local beach of new material. This directly accelerates the coastal erosion the wall was built to stop. Our current infrastructural strategy for surviving climate change is trapped in a destructive loop, actively accelerating the exact vulnerabilities we are trying to engineer our way out of. We cannot halt global construction, but we can change where we source our materials. One of the most viable industrial alternatives to river dredging is called ore sand. When mining companies extract minerals like copper or gold, they crush surrounding rock. Right now, this crushed rock is dumped into sprawling tailings ponds as mine waste. Repurposing this material provides a massive, ready-made supply of angular construction sand. For coastal defense, engineers are turning to nature-based solutions. This massive, artificial peninsula in the Netherlands is known as the sand motor. Instead of building a rigid concrete wall, the sand motor deposits millions of cubic meters of sand into one strategic location. Over decades, natural wind and wave forces gradually distribute the sediment along the coastline, naturally widening the beaches and restoring the hydrostatic buffer. The long-term survival of our static, built world relies entirely on the preservation of our dynamic, natural one. We have to stop viewing sand as cheap dirt and start managing it as the strategic asset keeping our coastlines in